on to the Apple story, Congressman, because FBI Director James Comey speaking before a House panel yesterday regarding the agency's fight with Apple. You questioned the reports that the FBI could just unlock the one phone themselves.
Yes. Heard several people on in the media say that the FBI could do this if they wanted to, but they are trying to establish a case here. Just give you the opportunity to talk about that.
It's the product of people watching too many TV shows. I don't mind TV shows about FBI, but sometimes we're not as attractive or as technologically talented as we appear on TV.
Well, what was he trying to say there, Congressman?
Saying that the FBI, that this is not a game they're playing. That there are some people suggesting somehow the FBI can do this, but they just want to win a case in court to set a precedent. Believe me, Maria, this is a live, active investigation. There is reason that they want to get into that phone. Again, there could be others out there, and if they had the ability to do it, they would. So this is not some kind of a game they're playing. I think too many, whether it's people in the media or people in politics, think this is somehow a game that's being played. It's not. If the FBI could do it, they would do it. And again, this is. There's not a privacy issue on this particular one. The reason I'll tell you why is, first of all, the person who had the phone is dead. Secondly, the phone was owned by the city of San Bernardino, and they have given permission to the FBI. All the FBI is asking for, they will turn the phone over to Apple. They just want to disable the auto erasure function that's within that phone. And it will be done basically by remote pulsing of codes. It's not going to, there's no way this can be stolen. There's no way this can be hacked into. This is not going to be a danger to anyone in the future.
Yeah, I've got Jolynn Kent here on set, Congressman, who's been following the story. And earlier we had somebody from the Council on Foreign Relations who said it's more than one phone. It's not just one phone. Joe, take over. What do you want to ask the Congressman?
Congressman, I'm curious to know what your response is, because Apple says that this violates their First and their Fifth Amendment in the Constitution. What do you say to that?
Well, that's just not true. The fact is that the government has the right to go to court to get a search warrant if there's believed that evidence is there or information that can solve either a past crime or prevent future crimes. And as far as affecting other phones, this could not possibly affect any other phone. My understanding from talking to the experts is that because it involves remote pulsing of codes, it's just to that phone in particular. It cannot be used anywhere else. Now, we may have issues later on with other phones, but the fact is, and when Cook and Apple talk about this, there's really a tone of arrogance here. We're talking about saving lives. Now, this to me is the Fourth Amendment protects us against search and seizures. As far as the Fifth Amendment, I don't know what he's talking about self-incrimination.
Congressman, but Tim Cook has said, and you even hear this from Jim Comey of the FBI, they want you guys to deal with this. They want it to be heard in public. They want Congress to make legislation that lays out what these smartphone companies have to do. So are you ready to do that?
I'm ready to do it, but in the meantime, people could die. So let's not have a game as to who goes first. I would say we should do it tomorrow. I want to do it. I want to do it. But
what are you going to do? What are you going to do specifically, Congressman? You're going to come up with legislation?
Again, that's all Congress can do is legislation. Now, we are talking about having a commission set up.
What kind of legislation would you like to write?
I would say you have leaders from the House and Senate, have people from the industry, people from the administration involved in it to find a way that you can find out what's in these phones. Remember, you're going to have terrorists all over the world are going to have these apps, which can prevent law enforcement from going in.
The White House, though, is already working with tech companies and already talking to members of committees in the House and Senate, and they have not been able to come to an agreement. So how do you suppose you will be able to solve this? What exactly will you propose?
Well, in the meantime, that has to be done in court. What I'm saying is you have to get, listen, it's going to be tough to get 218 people, but that's not an excuse for not doing anything. Apple can't pass this off and say, we're going to let people die until Congress acts. Congress does have a responsibility. I'm saying we have the responsibility, but just because Congress is not acting, and maybe not acting quickly enough, does not mean that Tim Cook has the right to stand back and let people die.
So, I mean, when does this become a slippery slope for you, though, Congressman? I mean, you know, giving government too much permission to just, break into an individual's privacy? When does it become a slippery slope?
Well, first of all, it is not yet. And that's why we have a judicial system. That's why they went to court. I mean, you always have search warrants, which involves breaking into someone's home. You have wiretaps, which allows you to listen to people's phone conversations. That's done under court supervision. We've had that for years. That's part of our tradition. That's what the Fourth Amendment is, unreasonable searches and seizures. And if it's reasonable to protect lives, if you're not violating anyone's particular privacy, which you wouldn't be in these cases, if you have probable cause and you can establish that, then to me, that clearly allows you to go in. Now, if you're worried about other people being able to hack in, put up protective measures, that's really for the technology experts to come to Congress, show that how. It's up to them. The burden's on them to show how that has to be done. Until then, I believe the FBI has a full right to go in with a court order.
All right, what are you expecting Tuesday from this hearing?
Am I expecting the hearing? I think, again, hopefully it'll go forward. Hopefully we'll get some constructive ideas. And I can tell you, the FBI, Comey has been talking to us for over a year over this, attempting to work with the industry.
Yeah.
Also, we have Cy Vance, the DA in Manhattan, one of the most respected in the country, trying to work with the industry.
Well, he's got another 175 phones, right? He's got another 175 phones that he can't open.
Yeah. And remember, if we had known this on September 10th, that in a phone was the secret as to where the next attack was going to be. And they said, well, let Congress take care of it. Refused to open the phone. And in that case, and you had 3,000 Americans killed, the blood will be on their hands.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Congressman, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Congressman Peter King joining us this morning.